Hey guys, my name is Keziah and welcome to Cooking with Keziah. Today we're going to be cooking bagels. Okay, so to make my bagel recipe, you need 2 teaspoons active dry yeast, 4.5 teaspoons of white sugar, 1.25 cup of warm water, but you might need a little bit extra, 3.5 cups of all-purpose flour, but you can also use bread flour or high gluten flour, and 1.5 teaspoons salt. Okay, so for the first step of the bagels, you're going to take a half cup of your water and pour it in your mixing bowl. And then you're going to add 2 teaspoons of yeast and 4.5 teaspoons of sugar. And you're not going to mix. All right, now we're going to let it sit for 5 minutes. Okay, so now for the next step of making our bagels. First, what we're going to do is we're going to take our yeast mixture and we're going to stir it up until the yeast is dissolved. There, that looks good. Okay, so now we're going to measure our flour. We need 3.5 cups. Okay, so we'll close that up. And now we're going to add 1.5 teaspoons of salt. And then we're going to mix that up. I'm just going to mix it with my hands because they're clean. Okay, so we're going to make a little well in the center. And then we're going to pour our yeast mixture into it. There we go. And then we're going to add 1/3 more cup of hot water, or warm water, sorry. All right, we're gonna mix that up and we might need to add a little bit more water, but we'll just see. So I can tell we're gonna need to add more water to our dough because it is quite dry. So now we're going to put it onto the counter, but first we need to flour it. Alright, so now we're going to put it onto the counter, but first we need to flour it. We're going to knead the dough for about 10 minutes and try and get it to take in as much flour as you can. What we're going to do now is lightly oil our bowl, and then we're going to stick our dough in there and just turn it a bit so it's coated. And then we're going to get a damp cloth and cover it and let it sit for an hour in a warm spot. Okay, so our dough has been rising for 1 hour now, so all we got to do is punch it down and then it needs to sit for 10 more minutes. So there we go. So now let's let it sit for 10 more minutes and then we can make the bagel shape. Okay, so we've let our dough sit for the 10 more minutes and it's ready to make into the bagel shape. We've surfaced an area and we have our cookie sheet with parchment paper all ready to go. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the bowl out and just put that to the side. And then we're going to split it into 8 or 9 pieces, whatever it kind of looks like to you. So I'm just going to guess that's 1. So there we go, that's that. So then we're gonna put all these piles of dough on this cookie sheet. And I'm just gonna take the one And what you're going to do is you're going to push down on it, and then you're going to flip it over and pull in the edges. And then you're going to flip it over again, and you're going to kind of make a weird hand motion with your hand, like that. And then you're going to stick your finger in a bit of flour and stick it in until you have a hole. And then you're going to pull apart till it's about 1/3 of the diameter. There we go, so let's do the next one. And also, I forgot to mention, just before we started doing this, after the dough had been sitting for 10 minutes, we put on a large pot of water to boil, so that should be boiling soon. There we go again. So repeat that for all 9 of them, and then you gotta let them sit for 10 more minutes. Okay, so we have them all in the donut shapes. So now we're going to cover them with a damp tea towel for 10 more minutes. Make sure you have a large pot of water getting ready to boil. And also preheat your oven to 425 degrees now. Okay, so we've just let our bagels sit for 10 minutes, and now it's time to boil them. So we're going to take the tea towel off, and you can put in as many as you want at a time. Once they float to the top, once you put them in the water, they should take a few seconds to float to the top. Wait 1 minute, flip them, and then let them boil for another minute. I guess that's So there's our 1 minute, so we're going to flip them now. So also I've actually got out an additional cookie sheet with some parchment paper on it because I don't think the one will be big enough, so just so you know. Okay, so there we go. We're going to take them off and put them on our cookie sheet. Make sure you put the uglier side down so that's the bottom and you can't see that. And we're all done. That's the last one. So we're just going to pop those in the oven now for 20 to 25 minutes, more likely 20. Okay, our bagels have finished cooking. Ooh, those look good. Ooh, those are hot. Wait for them to cool a bit and then enjoy. All right, let's try it. Now that is one good bagel. Thank you for watching Cooking with Keziah. Hopefully you'll join us next time.